Is 7-5 good?
All
When it
right,
was 12
gentlemen.
bowl games.
Y'all ready to roll?
Yeah.
And welcome back to the holiday version of Yeah, I Said It. Ben, Jack, and Mike. Gentlemen, how you doing, and happy holidays to you.
Happy holidays, man.
Yeah.
I'm a
Merry
little under the
Christmas.
weather.
Merry Christmas Eve.
You a little under the weather, man?
I'm doing the Coach Northern. I'm ducking.
You ducking. Well, you ought to be feeling pretty good, man. Santa Claus has answered your wish list. We got a newly named head coach, Mr. Tremaine Jackson, be taking over. What's your reaction to everything?
Well, first of all, I don't think you represented me well by saying what you said. I still like Coach Bubble, but that is, behind us, and we have to move forward. I would say what I'm going to do is I'm going to support, him, the university, with my finances, if that means buying a season ticket. So with all of the other cheerleaders that are cheering and marching in the street, if you didn't buy a season ticket or something, you might as well just put your pom-poms down. So that's what I'll say.
Well, it's ironic you say that, when I'll feed on that in just a moment. Jack, what's your feedback?
Yeah, I don't know too much about the coach, but I did look at his resume and looked at the skins on the wall that he has, and I think the future is optimistic. So I'm optimistic that he'll be a good hire.
Now, back to your statement that you made, Ben, about buying season tickets, and that's a great thing. That is an absolutely great thing, and we need that. But what we as fans got to understand, it's more than just buying a season ticket. We have to buy the season ticket. We have to help with the NIL funding. We have to even do additional donation toward the athletic department, and I go a step further to your department that you graduated from, in order to keep this thing rolling. And we always are looking across the yard at the other people's yard, but they're not understanding all the maintenance that it takes to maintain a beautiful looking yard. And we're not fulfilling that goal as being our own gatekeepers and our own responsible funding source.
I would agree with that.
You do?
Yes, I agree with that.
Wow, that's shocking. You always say I'm fussing and cutting down.
Well, you might be, but I told you I'm a little under weather, so I'm trying to be respectful.
Yeah.
I'm sipping on my cider right now.
He must be. He must have a fever. He must have a fever.
Yeah. Well, if I have a fever, it's just the fact I'm tired of hearing all of these whining, princey catons. That they cheer, but they don't put their money where their mouth is. So they remind me of that movie that's out right now, Mustafa. But they little baby Mustafa. They don't have no roar. They just talking.
Okay, then. Okay. So maybe their roar increase with their funding support?
Well, the way they up here cheering, doing backflips right now, we'll see. One thing for sure.
Go ahead.
The Lord blesses us to keep waking up. Football season will be here before you know it. And from what I was told, the AD said that his name is on the line. So all of these cheerleaders and stuff, their cheer is on the line also. We'll see next season what happens, for sure.
Okay. Well, with that being established and everything being taken care of, going back to the main attraction, Mr. Tremaine Jackson, overall head coaching record, 40 wins compared to 12 losses, about a 77% winning percentage. Just lost in the Division II championship game. Lost, I think it was 49-14, but nonetheless, he did get there. And bringing his expertise to the Hill, more than likely he's going to bring a staff member or two and possibly a couple of players to help turn around the fortunes, if you would, of Prairie View. I have a little hesitation when you bring in a new coach. I think he should bring in everyone on his desired list and not to be inheriting coaches that are left behind or people are part of the team that are left behind. Do you think this approach is being naive on my part to think that that can be established, or you have to go and have people that are already established to help you navigate in your new environment?
I mean, I think that's a good point. Again, I actually, before I got sick, was, traveling across the media sources, and I posed that question that, do you think anybody on staff would be kept? And believe it or not, on one of the shows, one of the individuals had the nerve to say that they should keep the defensive back coach. Well, as soon as he said defensive back, I hung up the phone. I said, wow, out of all the positions that Prairie View has, defensive back coach is damn sure not the one I would have kept. The defensive line or the special team coach or the kicking coach for sure. But defensive back, I was just like, wow, there we go with that cheerleading stuff again. He must have been one of his frat brothers or something. I don't know. But I think you should bring, your own people. You should have control to know who you want to bring. One of the things I do believe between the three of us is our bond is so tight that we know that we trust each other. But when you bring somebody in that you don't really know, that's when you kind of could have a little weak yellow spot, in the midst. And when you come into a new situation, you don't really need no open windows and back doors that's not locked down. You need to know who's on your team and what's going to happen. So we'll see what happens. Okay. Well, I have a question for you. Did they announce what was his contract yet?
I have yet to get all the details on that. I do know that he starts officially January 1st with the new adventure, and I wasn't sure if it was a 4-year deal, 3, 4, or 5. I wasn't real sure of all the details. We'll get that, and maybe our trusty brother Jack can dig in the weeds and find some of that out. Because technically, I don't know if I give you all assignments, your reassignments for 2025. Jack is going to be like a IT stat research guy, and you're going to be our story sweeper. Because you having a good time, man, going on these different shows and platforms, gleaming what's going on, and keeping me in the loop anyway.
Yeah.
Quick question, guys. Do you think the hesitation of giving him full reign is the fact that he's jumping from Division II to Division I? Do you think that's the hesitation?
No, I don't even think that should be a hesitation. What it is, he is bringing head coaching experience in the collegiate level. Okay, and to be quite honest with you, he's coming from. I keep messing his name up on the school. This is Al something from Georgia. Mm-hmm. Don't be surprised when the rubber meets the road if they're not putting more money into their football program than we are at Prairie View. So if you bring a coach like that in, they know what it's going to take to be successful. When you go 40-12, you know what it takes to put the winning program together. You got to have all the pieces line up, the financial support, and yes, the fan support and everything else to line up. That's why I'm saying the last thing that we need is someone telling him when he get, that ain't how we do it here. No, damn that. That's why we brought him here, so he could do his thing to put his stamp on our program.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll soon find out. So, name has been selected. As I hear other football coaches say, the football field don't change in dimension. So we'll see what happens.
Right. Now, one thing that's very interesting to this that I think you'll like, Brother Ben, the connection. There's a connection between this brother and Coach Cole, Johnny Cole. Johnny Cole was the coach at Texas Southern when Mr. Jackson played at Texas Southern. And don't be surprised that if Johnny Cole end up somewhere on that staff.
I know. Was that a question or a response?
I was just making a comment, an observation.
Okay. So, well, as you tell me also, don't be surprised if the outcome don't be the outcome.
And what is that supposed to mean, sir?
Well, everybody understand what the outcome is. So,
what's the outcome? We don't know what the outcome is yet.
Okay, well, I won't expose it. I'll just say the outcome is the outcome. But what I will just transition by saying, I hope he has some legitimate recruiting techniques, skill set, abilities, whatever you want to call it, because I was really just shocked. I was telling Jack over the weekend while watching, the high school football games. I only saw, believe it or not, I don't know if y'all did, but there was one guy that I saw. He was repping Prairie View at the state championship game. There was only one player that they even announced that Prairie View had offered him a scholarship. And what you say the coach's name is again?
Tremaine Jackson.
Okay, so Mr. Jackson, you can affiliate whoever you want to and all of that, but the running back for North Crowley, he just decommitted. He just ran for 200-plus yards against a legitimate Division 6 school, and he was going to UNLV. So if I was a person, I would at least look into someone who's decommitted. But one of the things I thought was interesting is a lot of these schools that were there, they're going to North Texas, and I wanted to pose a question to y'all. Is North Texas that far above Prairie View that they're going there compared to wanting to go to Prairie View or Texas Southern?
No, it's not that, Ben. What you have to understand, man, and a lot of people, I'm not going to say I get frustrated, but I shake my head, and I'm not saying directly at you, but a lot of people feel that it's an automatic. If you got a Texas-based coach, you're in a Texas school, and you're recruiting Texas athletes, then they should automatically line up and fall to a Texas-based school. When you compare the options that are available in just the state of Texas alone, okay, and let's be honest, these guys that feel like they're worth their weight in gold, they want to be at the A&Ms, the UTs, the Baylors, the SMUs, the Power 4 programs, the even sexier Group 5 programs. By the time they get, I'm not going to just put it at Prairie View, but the FCS level, their noses are kind of stubbed up. So they'll look to go out of state. In the reverse mode of that, you have a lot of bona fide players from the Georgias, the Mississippis, Louisianas, Oklahomas that might be getting that same feel in their respective states, and they would love for the opportunity to come to Texas. So I understand, yes, you want your roster to be full of Texas kids so you can have better attendance and keep the talent at home. But they got to want to be at the Prairie Views. They got to want to be at the Texas Southerns. They got to want to be at the Houston Christians or at any other lower tier program or what they perceive to be lower tier to feel their ego.
Well, again, I don't know if we didn't ask the question or you answered the question. I'm suggesting the young man, even the announcer said, hey, this kid here is available. And I'm thinking like, okay, I don't know what the sales pitch is. I know sometimes we get caught up in the metrics, the height and weight and all that kind of stuff. But a kid in the 6A championship game running for 200 yards, talking about going to North Texas, to me that's unacceptable.
Well, Ben,
I do believe I'm biased because I'm from Fort Worth, but I'm saying at least that person should get some type of acknowledgement or something. But I'm only saying it personally because I know 3 coaches from the Fort Worth area that say that we're not even coming up there. We're not even talking. Now, either they're lying or it's a lie on the other end.
Okay, well,
I'm
hold on.
just saying.
Let me get something in. Let me get something in, brother. There's one situation that's nipping all this in the bud. I don't care if he's from Fort Worth. I don't care if he's from San Antonio. I don't care if he's from St. Louis. I don't care if he's from Prairie View. I don't care if he's from Houston. It's called NIL. And unless you got the damn money to make and lure these guys over, you can kick, scratch, moan, plead, and beg. But if your NIL is not lining up, you're nothing but an afterthought.
No, I agree with that.
No, hold
I
on,
agree
let
with
me
that.
finish, bro. Now, these brothers, they turn their noses up at the Prairie Views and the Texas Southern until they almost cuss. Thank you, Lord, I didn't cuss. Until they get in some trouble or not getting the playing time that they thought, then they want to come back then thinking they Big Papa on campus and end up being duds, showing up on full flats. Okay?
Right.
So my whole thing is, in recruiting, relationship, job situations, the only way you're going to have any success, A, they got to want to be there, and B, you make it obvious. So just because Prairie View is not seen asking or known to be known, and the coaches feel like, because just the same breath, some of these coaches say that Prairie View don't come up. Some of these coaches don't even let Prairie View get through the door. Some of these coaches would tell their kids, no, you can do better than that. And they look just like you and I. So
Correct.
So it's a balancing act. But meanwhile, I can't sit up here and poke and pout because, man, this guy ran for 200 yards and he won't even return my call. Man, I still got to fill my roster.
Yeah, but let's go back. How long has the NIL been in? Well, let me say this. How long legitimate has the NIL been in existence?
Legitimate about 3 to 4 years. Okay,
right.
But what I'm
because
saying,
we know it's been there. It just wasn't legit.
Right, it wasn't acknowledged. It was under the table until there was too much money coming in, and they had to put it on top of the table.
Yeah,
okay? So the bottom line is this. We know that people have always been getting paid to play. Okay, now it's just legalized. And the whole, we love Prairie View. Prairie View is a great place to get an education. Prairie View is got some of the best amenities and all the good ads and the bells that whistle and chime. Okay, but when the deal comes down, okay, hey, Ben, man, we'd love to have you at Prairie View. We can do some wonderful things with you. All right, Coach Prince, I'd love to be here. Let's talk about NIL. Well, what do you mean about NIL? You know, name, image, and likeness, Coach. What can I get paid? Well, the NIL that I was thinking about for you, Ben, you're going to get notoriety, you're going to be included, and you're going to be liked a whole lot. Okay, so that's our NIL. But and we could probably give you $5,000. Okay, I think my mama's calling me, Coach Prince. I'll call you right back. Hey,
yeah,
Coach.
I got all of that. But I guess what I'm thinking is, do you think, and maybe I'm just being naive, do you think, well, thank you. Do you think that the Stephen F. Austins, the Sam Houston, the Texas College, that their NIL budget is just that overwhelming? It's
better than ours.
Okay, all right. Because again, like you said, you threw out there the A&Ms, and I mean I got that. Now I don't want my child going to a particular school, but if they said, hey, we're gonna give you $500,000, then you know what? I'm already starting to put. We putting the truck together. But I wasn't even talking about in that situation. I was talking about, or in my mind, I was talking about the Stephen F. Austin, the Sam Houston, the Texas College, the UT. What is it? The one in San Antonio, UTSA. Yeah. I was talking about on that level, or their budget that overwhelming that they talking about 1,000, we talking about $1.
Yes, because every team that you just mentioned, or every school you just mentioned, is some form of FBS, whether it's G5 or Power 5. And their budgets alone are astronomical. There's a big difference between that.
I didn't know that. I didn't realize.
Let's look into this buy-in thing, how much of a scam this thing is. If you want to be considered a Division I program, you got to buy into at least $20 million that you're willing to spend on NIL? Hell, our biggest budgets at Prairie View, Alabama State, the Jackson States, if we hitting $16 million, then woo, we turning cartwheels. So you telling me I got to come up with an additional $20 million? So I got to commit to $40 million just for the NIL tip? And we ain't talked about no other programs? It's a setup for failure.
Okay, all right. So it's a setup for failure. Okay.
It is. If the truth be told, if we swallowed our pride, when I say we, I'm talking about every HBCU program, not just Prairie View, not just the SWAC, every HBCU program should be Division II, and let's run our rampant, run our game, and stay within our budgets that we can afford, okay, and keep a balanced playing field and move on with life.
Okay. Well, anyway, I was just asking a question. I didn't know that those schools are that far ahead of us. I mean, I'm like, dang, you on the 4x100. You say go. They already on the side before we start running, basically, but the way you're talking. So I didn't know it was that far ahead. Well, I guess I should have understood. If you ain't got people buying tickets or coming to the game,
thank you.
You know, where you get the money from. That goes back to what I'm saying.
See, if the truth be told, and I'm glad we have this conversation because it's good to talk about. A lot of people don't talk about frivolous stuff, but I like to think we talk about substance. We got to get out this welfare mentality.
Yeah.
We got to get out this. Well, if the system would give us much, if the state would, no, support your damn self.
Yeah.
Stop.
Well, that's one thing my mom always told me, and I told y'all. It's Christmas season now. She said, "Hey, whatever Prince give you, that's extra. Whatever Jack give you, that's extra. My responsibility is to take care of all of your needs and some of your wants.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But it's just the opposite. We want them to do what we're not doing.
And it's not that complicated. It's not that complicated, guys. Okay, you could get, even if you get the basic season ticket. Yeah, the basic season ticket. Without the set, $150 for a season pass? You get two tickets, that's $300 or whatever. Okay, that might not sound like a whole bunch, but as many people that get on these social medias and all this other stuff, even if they just did that, and I know, and I said it's going to always take a little bit more than just buying season tickets, but if you just did that, I'm not talking about the luxury suites and all that kind of stuff, if you just did that alone, that would have such an impact on NIL, on recruiting, on supporting your own athletic programs. Okay, then let's do this. How about this novelty? Let's show up. Let's show up. What's the point of buying the ticket and you don't show up? Well, I did my part. Okay, how about another novelty? Now that you show up, let's be enthused. Let's be a part of the damn atmosphere instead of a witness or a bump on the log. Well, they got to give me something to cheer about. Give them something to play for by creating some energy.
Well, I think it's a combination of both, like I told you. You can't talk about and I totally agree. Hopefully, I didn't curse, but I'm thinking of Coach Northern. Let me say it politically correct. I hope the athletic director does not raise the price up on season tickets, but come up with a concept to get more season ticket holders. But that being aside, you can't come up with no Cowboy Day and think that's a theme that's going to attract somebody that lives, well, I almost said a neighborhood. You got to come up with something other than Cowboy Day. That ain't attracting nobody.
I understand that.
And we came up with some examples. So, 80, you don't have to call me. Call Dr. Francis. He can relay some of the examples that we came up with that might be somewhat engaging other than Cowboy Day. But the point is, there are things that on all sides we could do. But I do agree with you. I know some people, they calling me almost every week cheering and doing backflips and all that kind of stuff. And Man, they probably went to one game. So while you doing a backward flip, do a forward flip. Buy you a ticket. You sit in the seat, not around me, but sit in the seat. Go to the game. We all have jobs. Invite somebody from your job to the game. Do something. I believe we can all do something. Whatever the something is, do something. And Prince didn't say it, but my dad had another philosophy. Do something or get the hell out the way. Don't talk about it. Don't do nothing. Just get out the way. If you ain't going to do nothing, just sit down. So that's what I'm saying.
Right. So like I said, if we get out this welfare mentality state that you're owed something, okay, what has always been a moment of pride for I'm gonna say our beloved. I'm not gonna be like me and act like you're the only one that cares about Prairie View. Is the campus has always been beautiful. The instructors, professors have always been engaging and supportive of helping you achieve the maximum that you could achieve from whatever field you were studying. Okay, and there's always been a sense of family, but we have gotten to the point to where, and I'm gonna say it, and I know Ben don't like it when I say it, we're too damn bougie, man. We're too damn
I don't like
bougie. It. I know you don't like it, but we're too bougie.
Yeah. I don't like
it. You don't like it, but it's a reality.
I still don't like it.
I know you don't like it, and I don't like it neither, but that's what we are.
Okay.
Well, stop acting like it.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because I was just thinking, alumni, listeners, it came to me that if you don't want mediocre play, if we don't come out and support this man that y'all are cheering about, if he does win, he's not going to be there long because he's going to be like, you know what, I did what I was supposed to do and I still didn't get nobody to come to the game. Let me get my ass out of here. So don't be upset if he does well and he leave y'all.
Well, that's the reality of where.
And then you become a side chick.
Well, look, man, look. FCS. Now we're strongly dedicated and bonded to the SWAC because we're products of the SWAC. But everybody don't feel the same way about our conference, about our school. A lot of these guys, they come in here to increase their pay, increase their brand, and increase their visibility for the next gig. Okay, gone is the day where you got a coach that's there 10, 20, 30 years. That day is gone. So all of these are stepping stones. You get a guy, okay, in Jackson's case, he's coming from D2, okay. The next graduating process, okay, you're at the FCS D1 level. The next step, if you're going to talk about the graduating train, will be a group of 5, then a power 4, and then the NFL. So none of these positions are designed to be long-lasting as once it was 15, 20 years ago. That day is gone.
So what has the schedule come out yet? I'm just curious.
I had
not that I know of.
Okay. So what would be a good success for him in year 1? Number 3 fan.
Better than 5 and 7 at least, huh?
Well, I'm just saying, because last year I think you said 7-4, 7-5.
I said we would have gone 75, right?
Okay. So when you were talking about 70%, he's looking at he need to at least do 7-4.
Okay, if we're going to gauge it on the success that he's had at Jackson, this is a bit premature and almost unfair, but since we're hypothesizing anyway.
Yeah.
If you're going to have an 11-game season for 2025, okay, you would, if you're going to go on a 77%, let's just say 80% success rate, if we're rounding up, you expect 8-3. Best case scenario, 8-3 realistically. Worst case scenario, 6-5.
Okay, I was just asking, because again, he chose to take the position, so I'm just saying he need to know a good measuring point because the cheerleaders are out right now. It's Christmas.
Knowing the history,
the Christmas presents are under the tree, but when you get a dud Christmas present, then all of a sudden, all of the meow cats gonna come out.
He's not going to have his own guys for at least 3 years, right?
But I'm like Prince. I hate when people say that own guy. He a coach. Shit, coach.
Now in that response to you, Jack, they became his guys when he became the new head coach.
Yeah, when he applied for the job.
So, and he's going to bring some of his quote unquote guys from where he's coming from. Then you blend all your guys, so the guys that understand your program can teach it to the guys you inherit to maneuver in your program, and you move forward. Now, going back to the expectations. Now, and Ben, Jack, I need you to be honest with me now. And I'm talking about our beloved PV fans. There are only 3 games that we really give a hoot about. That's the Labor Day Classic, the State Fair Classic, and Homecoming. Now, you're going to be gauged, unfortunately, on those 3 games, which are what you call your fair weather fans. Oh, man, we beat Texas Southern. Life must be grand. Oh, man, we lost Texas Southern. Get rid of the coach. Okay. Man, we had a great game at State Fair Classic. Man, that was pretty good. We in the right direction. And they don't give a damn who we playing during homecoming. They just want to come set the homecoming out. So you could be playing the School of the Blind. They ain't going to come in there anyway. They're going to come and eat all the free barbecue they can eat and drink the drinks they can drink.
Yeah, but you know what? One of the things, again, when you go around the circuit, I guess they tried to talk about it as being positive. They were saying that Prairie View does have one of the best schedules, meaning they don't have the Virginia Lynchburgs and that kind of mess. So I think a gauge would also be if we're playing these FBS schools to at least be 2-1. I mean, I got what you said about the little school down the street and the Dallas game and homecoming, but I think a good gauge would be to at least be 2-1 against the FBS schools if we continue to play them. This year, if I'm not mistaken, we went 1-2.
You realistically think we could be 2-1? We should be 2-1 against FBS schools?
I'm asking you. We played Northwestern this year, Incarnate Word.
No. Those are not FBS schools, bro. Those are not FBS schools.
Okay, well I misspoke. Okay, well So what level is that?
They're the same level. We're on FCS.
Okay, FCS. Well, okay, I was talking about that. Okay, I was talking about that tier. So we played 3 schools this year. We were 2-1 or 1-2?
Okay, we beat Northwestern. We beat what was the other school?
We lost Incarnate Word.
We lost Incarnate Word, but we lost. I mean, we beat.
Commerce.
Yeah, Texas A&M Commerce.
Okay.
Now, in all fairness, Texas A&M Commerce and Northwestern are the bottom feeders of the Southland Conference. Okay, I mean, I play them to beat them, but do we really use that as a gauge to measure the success of our program? But when we play,
I mean, again, I'm saying
when we play the Incarnate Words, which are still in the South, they blow our doors off.
Okay, so that goes back to what I was saying.
If the truth be told, Houston Christian beat us 30-0 last year.
Right. So I'm saying, so if we play teams like Houston Christian, Abilene Christian, Incarnate Word, Nichols, I'm talking about that type of school, Stephen F. Austin. I'm suggesting if we went 2-1 against those schools, then I think that could be a successful year also. Now, I know you threw out there the bottom feeder and all that kind of stuff. I wasn't saying necessarily bottom feed. I'm saying if we played whoever it was at that level, if we did 2-1, I think that could be considered successful.
That would be considered successful, but let's be honest. I expect us to beat Northwesterns. I expect us to beat the Texas A&M Commerces. I expect us to beat the Lamars, okay? But my true gauge, when I'm playing level field, when I'm playing the Incarnate Word, okay? Even if I lose, let me be competitive in that loss.
Right.
Okay? That's not been the case.
No, I agree. I was just saying you said SWAC schools, and I'm cool with that. I'm past the SWAC school. I was thinking of a level, objective level that could be considered, I hope they continue to play if the other school wants to. I hope they continue to play Incarnate Word because, to be honest with you, we've lost, but it's you've seen some improvement, and it just seems like it's a pretty good game for say Jack if he wants to go and hang out with his parents in San Antonio. It's not that far, but I think they should try to keep them on the schedule. I don't know who else they're gonna put, but
okay. But when you keep those type of programs on the schedule, it can work. Yeah. Only if you're supporting and showing up the games.
Correct.
See, that's where it falls back on us. We got to come and support these games. See, we look at, Incarnate Word, they don't bring nobody with them when we play them. The Mississippi Valleys don't bring nobody with them when we play them. The Houston Christians don't bring. Well, they don't need to bring nobody if we're supporting and taking care of our team.
Yeah, yeah.
So regardless, it sounds, and I'm not saying you're saying this, but it sounds like a crutch or an excuse for why we're not coming up. Well, it's because we're not playing this, we're not playing that. Regardless, if we have had it when we didn't have sports, we have had it when our sports wasn't great. Now that we have sports, support it every opportunity that you have, and stop being wishy-washy, man.
Okay.
Now, right. Well, I agree with that, but I wasn't talking about attendance. I was talking about competition. But all right. What are you going to say, Jay?
Well, kind of going back to the NIL and the Power 5, these schools, they have boosters. Now, forgive me for not knowing this. Do we actually have a booster club?
We have some groups that are trying to help, and we got new groups being established, and that's another thing that they've been talking about. We got too many splintered groups, right. Okay? Instead of everybody coming together. But once again, that comes to that trust factor. Somebody wants to be that dog. Somebody want to be that
somebody
dog.
Boosting the money, Jack. Somebody boosting the money.
No, it's not that. It's not that. Listen what happens. I know for a fact you got the Prairie View Athletic Club, you have the Panther Backers, you got the PCs, you got all these different splinter groups, then you have endowment groups, where everybody's doing their own thing, right? And then everybody is they're kind of bleeding over, asking some of the same people. So more than likely, if you are a season ticket holder, you are going to be affiliated with one of these groups that help support to try to do NIL support or whatever extra booster support. Okay, then it's so splintered, you could have 100 groups. Okay, when one group would do. If you get all those 100 groups, then maybe you could get some significant NIL boosting support. But what happens is, well, I'm over group A, you over group B, and he's over group C, then I want to be the one shining. I want to be out there on the 50-yard line giving out the big old check, where everybody, hey, look for you. Well, really, that don't even matter if it's all going where it's supposed to go. Man, that's why I don't get caught up in all that ism-schism stuff. If all I can give is $300 for the year, then if you can give $3,000 and Jack can give $10,000, who cares what group did what if it's all going toward the common cause?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's some boosting going on still, Jack. There's some boosting.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just wondering because I knew I wasn't too naive on that point.
Yeah. Now we don't have no booster that can individually say, okay, here's $10,000 or $10 million for the school athletic department. Y'all go ahead and split it up amongst the team. We don't have that type of luxury.
And I'm not going to say that we might have it, but that person hasn't come forward, and maybe they haven't come forward.
Amongst the three of us, I know I don't have no $10 million check that I could just write. Well, I could write you one, but you better not try to cash it. That's for sure.
But I might be able to do it, but I'm not saying I'm going to just give it to a hole that's just sinking either. So I think there are many factors to that. So I do agree with you when you say that there are many things, dynamics and components that need to come together. And so all of those components need to come together. But for that individual, he or she that might have that, then we have to prove to them that we are good stewards. Again, most, and I hate to say this, Pastor, but most people might not pay their tithes and their offering if they feel that the pastor is not a good steward over his money. Yes, we believe in God, but in the human fleshly realm on earth, you know how many times you've heard somebody talking about the building fund and you still in the shack. Well, when is the building fund gonna kick in? So again, just using that as an example, just throwing it out there.
Right.
But what I was going to say is,
respond,
yes, sir.
Can I respond to it? You give me.
Yes, you can.
Rambling. Okay. If you're dissatisfied with the pastor, get a new church or get a new pastor.
Yeah, that's the reason some people be moving from place to place.
That's why people move on, right? And guess what? Yeah. If you're bringing this back into the realm of PV being the church, then guess who? Okay, our pastor. Oh boy, this is good. Our pastor is the coach, the football coach, right? The bishop is the AD director. Okay, and then the judiciary, or not the judiciary, but the board of bishops is your president. Okay, so if the board of bishops is dictated to the bishop and the bishop dictated to the pastor, then guess who be the ones to suffer? The congregation, i.e.,
correct,
the alumni base.
Right.
So if we don't like what's going on, then guess who's really holding the power? The congregation. But the congregation is splintered.
Yeah,
amen.
Again,
amen?
I was, he okay. Well, anyway, so I think again, we do have some suggestions. So I'm just gonna throw out there, Mr. AD, if you call, you might be able to hear some suggestions that we have, written down on paper. We don't just think of stuff off the cuff that could, increase some funds and so forth and so on. But I'll leave that up to you. So when you're doing your rounds, then, do a round over here and call in and listen, or throw your feedback or listen to some feedback that might be some good suggestions. But I was just wondering, when we're talking about what could be a good season, I just thought 2-1 when we're playing those other schools and not always playing the bottom of the school. I always hear people say, again, when I do my rounds, they said Prairie View used to be the team that you would play only doing homecoming because they thought that was an easy win. So we don't want to play like some, I almost call them a punk, but we don't want to play some schools that only playing Lynchburg for homecoming because that doesn't really do anything. It gives you false hope. So, but I do think if we went 2-1, against bottom tier, middle tier, or even top tier schools, that would give us attention. People would be like, Prairie View, they doing something over there. Yes, sir.
Okay, so we went 2-1 against the South for this past season. We beat Northwestern, and we beat Texas A&M Commerce, where we lost in Corner Word. So from what you're saying, the people say we got attention. Man, Prairie View doing something. They beating up the teams in the South. That's what you're saying, right?
I'm thinking that some people thought that we did better than other people who played. Do you realize, I think it was Texas Southern, it was Southern, and it was two other schools that played this Lynchburg school. And so when they were comparing schedules to schedules, even though our win record was poor this year, our schedule was tougher than other people's schedules. That's all.
Well, that was acknowledged since at the beginning of the season. It was a pretty tough schedule. Okay, but regardless if the schedule is tough or soft, you're expected to win the games that's on your schedule, right? Okay. So what I'm saying is, when we're measuring the quality, a tough schedule doesn't necessarily mean it's a quality schedule. Let me explain that now. A tough schedule could be, you're playing such and such on the road. That can make it tough.
Right.
Okay? Because, depending on you're the numbers guy when it comes to the bets, you get automatically 2.5, 3 points for just being at home sometimes.
Yeah, suppose. Let's get them crooked refs we get, but
okay, so then when you look at the full picture of things, okay, the Virginia Lynchburgs or whatever, or what's the other school they love beating up on? There is this Lincoln school out of California right now that everybody's jumping up and down on. Okay, like you said, and before they shut their football program down, Prairie View used to play Bacone College. That, to me, that was the waste of time. That is an absolute waste of time. That's a waste of resources. That's a waste of opportunity. Okay? Because we're supposed to beat them. We're supposed, what, like you said, what joy am I getting out of that? But if we're about pressing the mark, right? Because look at this. We can't have our cake and eat it too. We got one of the highest academic regiments to play Division I on our level, right? Because everybody can't get it Prairie View. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Say that again.
Then everybody can't qualify to attend Prairie View because of the academic requirement.
Because that's another misnomer that some of these cheerleaders are not aware of. So, could you break that down a little bit for me?
Okay. Why you cut me off from what
I
was
I'm
saying?
sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, I apologize.
Jimmy the Crickets, man.
Okay.
Now, see, he made me lose my flow of what I was saying.
You said everybody can't come to Prairie View. That's what you said.
Everybody can't come to Prairie View because we have this expectation, right?
Right.
Should we not have the same expectation for our wins and losses? What I'm saying is, if I'm playing these bottom feeders from the South, okay, if they're close, that's not acceptable. We should blow them out because of my expectations. So you telling me I can't accept you because you don't meet our regiment for the academia piece, but it's okay to be mediocre on the playing surface? See, and
that was where you're supposed to say amen, Jake.
But the thing now, here's the thing, going back to what you just brought up. You recruit this kid who ran for 200 yards. Hell of a ball player. But he does not meet the academia Mendoza line. What the hell you going to do? Or you talking about, well, Prairie View ain't even showing up. When Prairie View, you got to understand, that's what I'm talking about, this administrative involvement for us Jackson having the success he's going to need to have. Release the dang on handcuffs. Okay?
Release.
And here's what I'm saying. Hold on. Let me finish. Please let me finish.
I'm letting you talk.
This young man rushed for 200 yards. The coaching staff is salivating. Man, this kid is right up the road. He rushed for 200 yards. He's a bona fide player. He has a vested interest in Prairie View. Man, let's get him, the visit set up. Oh, Mr. Running Back, we'd love to have you, but we got a problem. You don't quite meet our academia piece. That's called self-induced.
Right.
We want to be egghead you, but then if you're gonna be egghead you, then you're gonna have to deal with getting players who love the game, good, smart players, but they might not be the biggest, they might not be the fastest. Okay? And you're going to end up with some L's. So what I'm saying is, if that's the route you're going to go, you're going to go, you can't be firing coaches for going doggone 5-7. Am I making any sense?
Man, you made a lot of sense. Now, hopefully the listeners are those who are, listening. Hopefully, they took the earplug out.
You sure been quiet on this thing. Are you over there drinking on eggnog or something, man?
No, I'm taking it all in.
You taking it all in, but we need you to put something in, Jack.
I tell you, he is. He eating them nachos. He putting it in his mouth right now. You can hear the crunch. But no, I agree 100%. But my point again was, since you threw that in there, that there was one player that they announced that he did have an offer. His name is Quentin, number 6. He had an offer to come to PV.
Right.
But you know where he's going now?
He's going to Colorado, the Buffalo.
Yeah. So I'm not saying, and I'm not even mad at him, like I just said, because the bag that the booster is talking about is a bag. But the point I'm making is, if we're talking about these young men in Houston or Dallas or Fort Worth or East Texas, at least show some interest. One of the things I heard about, I always liked the coach at Alcorn. Hold on a second. Is he said that even though I didn't get Prince the first time because the bag was bigger in Florida than it was at Alcorn, I still showed interest to where when the kid didn't start as many games or he got hurt, he remembered, oh, that McNair coach, though, he showed interest. And so sometimes I'm just saying that, and I know you say, well, Ben, you don't think they doing it, and I tell you all the time, hell no. I'm saying just show some interest in these young men. You might not get the one that's going to Colorado, but you might get the one that was going to North Texas. You might not get the one that's going to Columbus. Let me see, what is it? It's a C. You might not get him, but you might get the one that's going to Wiley College. That's all I'm saying. And they don't even have a football team.
Okay, Ben.
Yeah, or even like the gentleman we got from Oregon, the guy we got from Oregon a few years ago. You know, it didn't work out in Oregon, and I can't remember the guy's name.
You know why it didn't work out? You know why it didn't work out in Oregon?
No, we don't need to go back, man. That was 3 years ago.
Oh,
we don't
okay.
need them.
Okay, yeah. Because see, that's what I'm saying. We get the fall guys. Okay, yeah. But you go show your natural behind up there somewhere that then you want to come back. But I ain't going to get into that.
Yeah.
Ben, you said something.
I said something.
Yeah, and you're not. I don't think you're really understanding or hearing me.
Okay.
You talking about we should at least show interest. But if we already got these certain criteria, I want Ben to be on my program. Ben rushed for 200 yards. Ben got this. He's got the heart. And I go and look at Ben's academia background, his resume. Oh, hell. Ben is a C student, but we can't take him because he don't even meet the 2.8 threshold.
Okay. You still stuck on it. I'm going to give you another. Listen to this real quick.
No.
You know, on one of these shows, there was someone that was talking. You brought his name up. I didn't bring his name up. And his name was Cole. You brought his name up. And so,
Cole,
yes, and he made to be a very unconscious statement. And he said that he would not have someone who looked a certain way, right, on his team. All I'm saying is when we have that type of mentality that we won't pick somebody because of a certain look, we assume that they don't meet the grading scale or the educational scale. You don't know. I'm suggesting that, again, I'm not the counselor at the school up north, but a lot of the young men that are going to some of these schools, they would have met the requirement. But if we never go up there to look and see and so forth, we don't know. I told Jack that I was going to go to the game.
Hold on,
okay,
pause,
yeah.
Pause,
yes, sir.
Pause. Because it's something is disconnecting.
Okay, something's disconnecting.
Before
y'all can't hear me?
No. I'm talking about our communication. Something is disconnecting. Regardless if I come in person, why would I come in person when I do the background on the man academia by way of request or inquiry, investigation? If he don't meet what we need to be qualified to come into the institution, why even waste the time to go up there? Because he doesn't even fit our criteria that have been set by the administration at the university. So it doesn't matter if this dude is running for 200 yards and got the fastest time. If he does not qualify academically, which is almost like an Ivy League status or, a select school status, and we're state-funded institution, we're acting like a private institution with state-funded guides.
I hear that, but my point again is you might go up there and one guy might not fit. But while you're up there, you see two other guys that could fit. That's my only point. I'm not just stuck on one person. The point I'm making is we have an option, and we've actually been doing the option. If I'm not mistaken, there was a coach that was in the boot area, and The fans were complaining because a lot of the players were coming from a certain area, and they wanted the players to come from a more local area. And my point is, education or not, if we don't go out there looking, you don't never know what you're going to find. I don't know too much about mining for gold, but when them people are looking in the dirt, they don't know how much gold they're going to find. But all that dirt that they turn over, and then when they find a little rock of gold or a little diamond of gold, they're excited. The point I'm making is you never know what you're going to do until you go out there. And so when we have the opportunity, and, we have the opportunity, and we don't go because we talk about it's too far, 4 hours is too far. We don't have a contingency plan, but we'll leave that alone. I don't want to go backtracking on that again. Then you never know what you're going to find. But I do know this. If you never go, don't complain when they come back and they bite you in the ass. That same opportunity, he comes back and he run 2 kickouts back, and he was like, I don't know if you heard, but it's either a lie or the truth. I don't know which one it is. All I hear is they say this kid, Cam Ward, wanted to come to prison. So it's either a lie or it's the truth. Now, What is it that caused him not to come to Prairie? That's all I'm saying. We need to figure out what are we doing.
Hold on. Okay. I'm say this. Then once I say what
I'm say what you got to say, Pastor.
Then I want Jack to feed in on something because we're gonna have to wrap this up.
Okay.
It's Christmas time, right?
For some of us,
sir. Mm-hmm.
Okay. A lot of people like to go and shop and buy gifts, this, that, and the other, because that's what they do, right?
Yes.
Okay. If I have $1,000 to go Christmas shopping, and I go to any department store, I can get up to $1,000 worth of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Be a pretty decent Christmas, I would think.
Should be.
If the next person has $500 to go to the same department store, they would have a good Christmas, but not as good as the one that had $1,000 Christmas, right?
Mm-hmm. Theoretically.
Then you have some that have $100 to spend for Christmas at that same department store. Now, the common denominator is they're all at the same store. All 3 have different budgets, but they all shopping for the same item. Okay, who you think gonna have the best items to choose from?
I'll let you answer that.
I mean, like you said, you can get outbid. Like you said, $1,000.
Okay. So if I'm going up against the one with the $1,000, and I say, "Woo, Ben, I sure would like you, man, but I could offer you $25 to come and be a part of it." Oh, that sounds good, Coach Friend. And here comes Jack with his $1,000. Hey, Ben, sure would like to have you, man. Well, Mr. Jack, Mr. Princeton gave me an offer. Really? How much was that offer? Well, I'd rather not say, but, well, could he do more than 25? Well, it's kind of in the same neighborhood. Well, what if I offered you 50? So, Mr. White, see you later, Mr. Prince. I'm coming. That's what we're dealing with, brother.
Yep.
That's the reality of it. And it doesn't mean I didn't look for it. I couldn't afford you. Whether it was because of my grade requirements, whether it's because of my lack of NIL, whether it's because of just the fact that, man, it's in the same state. As much as people are proud of Texas, there are a lot of guys that want to get away to play, to prove that they can play in other regions. So there are all kind of factors. There are all kind of factors of why we have and why we don't have. But as my pop would say, meanwhile, back at the ranch, I still got to put together a team. And at the end of the day, I got this schedule that I got to go out here and win as many games as I can win with the players available to whatever budget I have. And I can't sit up and say, man, sure We offered him, but he went to Colorado. Can't get him no more now. But if he happened to get in trouble, if he put his hands on somebody that don't belong to him, then maybe we can get him on the rebound in the portal. Okay.
Well, I think,
Brother
that's a good example.
Brother White. That's Brother White. Brother White.
No, no, go ahead, Ben. Cause, yeah,
Thank you,
Brother White.
Lon, brother. Thank you, Lon, brother.
I'm getting a honey-do list as we speak. So
thank you, Lon, brother.
We got
I think that was very respectful how you spoke. My only point is, just think that there might be individuals who it's not about the money. It could be based on, I've had 5 generations of people who went to PV. If I just had some form of contact, I might go to PV. That's just a thought. And I'll just leave it at that.
Ben, you wanting to go to PV and qualify to get in PV is 2 different things.
No. You said that, but I'm not. Again.
No, but what I'm saying, if I want to go to PV, no, I'm not contradicting myself.
Okay, listen.
If I want to go to Prairie View, okay, hold on, wait, Ben, wait. Prairie View is my top choice. I want to go to Prairie View. I've been bred to go to Prairie View since I was born, and I want to be a PV Panther. I want to wear that purple and gold. Mr. Prince, take your ACT. Mr. Prince, take your SAT. Mr. Prince, what's your grade point average from high school? Oh, Mr. Prince, you don't quite meet our guidelines. But what we can do, Mr. Prince, we can suggest you go another route to a JUCO. We can suggest that you come in here on academic probation, but you can't get it. You can huff and puff all you want, but these are the realities that these coaches are dealing with.
No, and I agree with that. My point was.
And guess what? And so if I want to be there but I don't qualify, it's null and void.
Correct, but that's you saying that. I was not talking about. I'm saying, for instance, I got that point. We can put that to the side because you've been stumping on that forever today. I'm saying for the individual who potentially does academically qualify, that's the point I was referencing. Okay, so we got 2 concepts. I got the first one that you're talking about. We can move away from that. I'm talking about for the individual, he or she that does qualify, but for whatever reason, either we just fall in a situation where we just say, well, I know I don't have the money to afford Jack or Prince or Benjamin, so I'm not going to try. I'm just saying for everybody who might not academically not qualify, there are some that does. And it's up to us.
And those that do qualify are talking about NIL. You got scrubs and bums who think their NIL value is way more than what it's actually worth. And if you don't meet their criteria, they move on down the road.
Okay, all right. So we can move on down the road. We'll just agree to disagree. So, Jack, what were you saying? Because we're moving on down the road. Yellow Big Road.
Yeah.
No, you guys go ahead. You can try to wrap up because I got a honey-do list
we're going to
already.
wrap up. Give us your closing thoughts, Jack. We're going to wrap this up.
No, I'm just saying, looking forward to Coach Jackson coming on and, leading us in the right direction. And us as fans and alumni, we need to pull together and, let's support the man.
Brother Ben?
I have no comment today, sir. I'll let you close out.
Well, that's refreshing. I guess you said, and we all going to say today, well, look, while we're, as they say, we're blowing off steam, do want to let you guys know I appreciate you during this holiday season.
Same to you, sir.
Take care of each other. Take care of your families. More important, take care of yourself, man. PV Nation, the clock has now concluded. Tremaine Jackson is our guy. Okay. As Ben said, we're turning cartwheels.
Do something or get out the pot.
Champagne. Okay. Start with buying season tickets. Let's start with that. And then
buying a ticket.
Just whatever the case. Let's start with that.
Yeah, do something. Yeah.
Okay. And then let's start with coming to the doggone games. And let's make the start not like waiting till football. Let's start with basketball. Okay? And let it spill over. Let's get some momentum rolling that can carry over to the next football season and then see what is going to happen. And if we want to make an indention in the NIL, then get together and let's put in toward the NIL fund, okay, in addition to your season ticket, okay? And then if you want to really add to a layer, sponsor a couple of kids for their meal, okay, and help add to their snacks or snack shack or whatever you want to call it. But we got to do something to help our own cause. let's close this welfare mentality down, man, because it's killing us. It is killing us. And it's going to be our own fault, our absolute own fault. With that being said, we love you. We appreciate you. On behalf of Ben, Jack, and Mike, we want to wish you guys a happy holiday. Do follow me on Twitter X at The Mike Prince Show. Subscribe to the YouTube channel at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Hit the bell notification. That way, every time we get these new releases coming out, man, you will not be left behind. So until the next time, you guys be blessed. We'll see you on the other side.